Good evening. Thank you to the Monday, August 11th, 2025 regular board meeting. Meeting is called to order at 6:01. Kennard.
Here.
Kamal.
Here.
Davis.
Here.
Rogers is present. McCarthy. Let's say late. Laster will be late. And Piles is excused. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Acceptance of the agenda. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the August 11th, 2025 meeting agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion by Rogers, supported by Davis. Rogers is yes. Davis?
Yes.
Kamal?
Yes.
Kennard? Motion is approved. We're at public comment. If I can have those. First, we have Ray Eddings.
All right, I'll have a couple questions, but first thing I want to say is, as a taxpayer, I'm disappointed that we have a millage vote in August with the only thing on it. So we have to get all the people in and all these things up to vote. I thought there'd be something else on it. The only thing on was the millage. It was a waste of my tax dollars to do a millage in August when the only thing on it was the millage. As a taxpayer, we're spending money. Ellen Bragg and all her people had to do all that, put all the people up in tables and whatever to get that done. And as you guys know, we know, the millage failed. I read a couple things, the mayor, some other people are disappointed it failed, but I'm looking at it like this. I looked the next day, Livonia, 96,000 people, the average median income, $96,000. Romulus, 25,000, average median income, excuse me, $52,000. 30% is residential, and Livonia is like almost 90, 80 something percent, and theirs failed too. You know, that just, so now my question is this. We're at this point now is, I guess it's like, what's plan B? Because I surely hope you guys have one. Is there a plan to do if you guys had if this fails, what are we gonna do? I mean, the little bit I started digging into, New Boston Huron has 2 elementary schools, 1 middle school, 1 high school. We have 4 elementaries, early child care, middle school, high school. That's a lot more schools open, a lot more, but everything, cost everything, and all the repairs you want to do to them schools. I mean, that number is way too high. You guys want a millage, the people are willing to pass it, but it's gotta be something that we're willing to do. That $153 million was out of control as a taxpayer. And I've lived here almost my whole life. I mean, I voted millage before, and I don't have a problem voting millage, but, I mean, that money was just too much. So, I mean, I kinda wanna know, do you guys have a plan B? What's the plan from here? That's my ultimate question. Thank you.
Next, we have Natalie Bosides. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm Natalie Bosides, also known as Nurse Natalie, the district nurse for Romulus Community Schools. I'm here to advocate for the students, the district, and the community as funding for my position is unlikely to continue. I was a nurse for special education students until coming here to oversee the district health needs. Some people think school nurses just do Band-Aids and stomach aches. Not so. When I started in April of '22, I was instructed to get the individualized healthcare plans up to date. Subsequent years, my duties included addressing the physician's orders. When they weren't complete, I contacted them, got the families addressed, made sure it was taken care of. Maintained the epinephrine stock, monitored weekly communicable disease reports, sent them to the health department. I've trained staff on medication administration and documentation, provided updated medical binders to all the buildings, so all forms are standard, because there were multiple different ones. I educate and advise students, parents, and staff on health issues such as diabetes, seizures, asthma, anaphylaxis. I've taken training through RESA that will benefit the district. I follow up with students after injuries and surgeries to ensure their needs and district needs are met. I've provided summer school paperwork for the past 3 years for the students and staff. I tried to eliminate the what-if variables. I've also worked with the attendance liaisons. This year, I was asked to assist with the sex ed curriculum, which included trainings, meetings, working with tech to have the survey sent out. After which, I then worked with tech and to make sure information was readily available to parents. We put medical forms, medical information on the district website. And students went on an extended field trip this summer, or this spring. I worked with the teacher, made sure all the paperwork and medications, everything they needed was there. I obtained a donation of hygiene supplies for students from a nonprofit organization. My position is multifaceted. I may have not covered all I do. My goal is to ensure the students and families thrive, which include them being healthy emotionally, socially, mentally, and physically. Students know that they can come see me for anything. My door is always open for them. Families contact me for advice for their students as well as their own selves. Our student and family success leads to district and community success. I have dealt with students and families for 19 years. It's not a job, it's a passion. I've seen the difference it makes. Please consider the students, the district, and the community that will be affected by not funding this position. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Arthur Warren?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm a representative of the Southeast Westland Homeowners Association and also a precinct delegate of the Precinct 28, which most of our children go to the Romulus School District. One of the things that in supporting a particular no on the millage is that lack of written information. Although you may have Facebook, internet, most of my citizens do not receive their information from that. They're old timers. They like to receive something written that they could sit down and relate to. And this is probably one of the failures of communications with the voters. So lack of knowledge, they're going to vote no. One thing in contrast to Taylor does the same thing you guys probably do, but Westland doesn't do it. Although we don't have any students in the Westland schools, they still send out a brochure talking about the progress or lack of progress in their school district. And so people are informed. And so that's why one of the things, the schools of choice, was people in that precinct will send their children to Westland Public Schools because they get information from that school on maybe a quarterly basis. And so I would say we, in particular, are not in favor of supporting any bond issues until we get this kind of information. And this is what my residents tell me to come and express to you, okay? And so, therefore, I don't know what you're gonna do in the future, but if we don't get that information, there will be a lot of no signs going up in that neighborhood, not supporting anything over here. Thank you.
Rita Hampton?
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Nice
evening.
seeing you all again. Anyway, I wanted just to say just one thing. I'm disappointed the bond didn't pass. And then being a political science think I am all the time. I look at how many people live in the district. I look at how many people voted. And I thought about a lot of people will say, I have no kids that go there, but they do. The kids, I don't either, but kids down the street, they're my kids. I put my hat in the ring when I went to WIC and volunteered to teach tutor reading. If all children that are in Romulus are our children. And then when a former board member tell me to go back to Inkster, read into that what you will, and that will tell you why it didn't pass.
Ms. Sandy Tenney.
Hi. Well, I've got some good news. Yeah. And in fact, the young lady I'm going to speak on very quickly, Ursula, and you girls, and Darcy, I don't know. You may not, you may know or you may not. But Patrice Beasley?
Yes.
Yeah, she was one of our students. She went on to run track at EMU. Next month, she'll be installed in the EMU E-Club Hall of Fame. And one of the reasons is, I think I lost it, is for her lasting impact on EMU students. And I just like to recognize Patrice. We see some of these students, former students, we see their names up in that hallway. We see their names up on the record board, up on the track, around the gym, and we never hear anything about them again. Some that went on to play pro sports, yeah, we hear about them, but what about some that made an impact on their college athletes? So thank you, Patrice Beasley, and thank you for listening.
We have Sue Evans. Just saw her.
Hello, everyone. I had posted on Facebook about transparency. One of the board members came back and said that things weren't recorded because of the fear. And trust me, I can fully respect that out of everyone at that table. I understand the fear of sitting at that table. We have had people charge our table. We have had audience members escorted out by security. So I understand completely. However, the bylaws state, this is Romulus, your form. It requires individuals who wish to address the board to direct their comments to the entire board and not to individual board members, the superintendent, other school board employees, or members of the audience. Yet, it continues, and I am being referred to at every meeting. And I approached the president about it afterwards last time. This needs to stop. If it's going to be your bylaws, follow it. I was referred to tonight again. The lies come out, and it has to stop. Also, the last thing that I would like to address, with Ms. Marshall going to Rommel, how many people remain on the curriculum team? Okay, I believe one left. So then was she put over the curriculum team, I thought? I'm not exactly sure what it was. I know someone that remained on it took over. But how many people remain on the curriculum team? Yeah, and basically, what's the cost of that team? If somebody could get me that information. Thank you.
That's it, Madam President.
All right, we are now at the presentation portion, and we have a presentation from the great Jason Perkins, Operations Department Proposed Vehicle Purchase and Contract Approval.
Thank you so much, and good evening, everyone. So I have a few different recommendations for the Board of Education tonight, so I don't want to confuse you guys in my presentation. I kind of just want to go through them before I get into it. The first is the purchase of trucks, specifically plowing and salting trucks for the operations department. Next is the buses, so the purchase of 2 buses. Kind of like I've already spoken with the Board of Education to purchase 2 per year. So I'm going to talk about that. And then lastly is a contract, because all contracts have to come in front of the board. So I'm going to talk about the trucks first. So this has really been a need within my department since I started a year and a half ago. I'm just now bringing it to the Board of Education because I wanted some things to align first. We have a new business manager in place. We're now into a new fiscal year, so these are some of the reasons that I kind of held off, but feel like now is a good time. So why update our vehicles? To improve response time and reliability for maintenance, custodial, and transportation support, reduce costly repairs, which we're actually going through currently on some of the vehicles, and downtime associated with aging vehicles, enhancing safety for staff, increasing overall operational efficiency and help us better support student, staff, and district programs, promote our brand and appearance, continue to provide these services in-house. What I mean by that is we plow our own snow here in the district. If we paid a company to do that, the cost would be well exceeding what it would cost to purchase the vehicles. I like that we do it in-house here with our own people. I want to continue to do that. I'm going to go through and just show you some of the vehicles that I'm looking to decommission. I think they should tell the story here. I just don't feel like these are a good representation of our district to be out on the streets with some of these vehicles. That's parked in the back, decommissioned. This is the worst one that I put first, but the other ones aren't much better, so there's 5 vehicles total. This is number 2. Number 3 here. This is the truck that I try to drive when it's not broken down throughout the district. And the 5th one there, so you can see they have the old logo, they're rusted out. You can see the years on them, 2005, 2008, 2009. These are the vehicles that I'm looking to update. So my recommendation would be to get rid of the 5 vehicles and purchase 3 new ones. So purchase 3 F-250 Super Cab pickups with plows and salters. I have the amount there for all 3, as well as what it would be for each of them. The funding source would be general fund. It's a MISH deal, they call it, and basically the pricing has already been gone through. We don't have to go out to bid. We know we're getting the best price, and we can skip the bidding process.
I work for a dealership, so how do you know that?
You guys want me to respond to audience member? Normally, we can't respond to
Okay,
audience
don't respond,
members.
that's fine.
So I don't know if President would tell me how to handle that.
I've been here twice, so that's fine.
It's all good. It just, normally we're not able to speak to audience members, so no disrespect. It's just, so it's a bidding process, though. The bidding process has already been done. They go out to bid at all different dealerships, find that best price, and then they help with the procurement for schools, so. So it isn't my deal. We can skip the bidding process. And then just offsetting that cost by auctioning or selling the decommissioned vehicles. They're not worth a lot. You guys have kind of seen what they look like, but $3,000 to $5,000 a piece. I'm going to say somewhere in that range, and we have 5 of them, so we could recoup or offset a lot of those funds by auctioning off the old vehicles. Of course, pending board approval, any auction has to be brought to the Board of Education, so I plan to bring that probably somewhere around the start of school. So that's it for the trucks. Any questions about the trucks before I move into buses?
Well, actually, Madam President, actually, you answered it. My question was going to be, when you say get rid of, what exactly did you mean by that? And so you said you're going to auction it off, whatever. What happens if you can't auction it off and you have to do a salvage? What do how are you going to scrap it?
Yeah, we can scrap them too with the board's approval. I could bring in a asset disposal form, fill that out, have the board approve it, and we could take care of it that way as well.
'Cause how old is the worst one?
1998.
So I'm quite sure they don't, the parts and all of that stuff, what
Yeah,
today's
so we can auction
technology
them
would
at a
have.
0 reserve
Yeah.
to where we'd probably still get something, very minimal, but we would get something. Or if we felt they were worth more, we could put a reserve price on them to say, hey, no less than $3,000, and we go from there.
Okay, I'll only ask, just,
Yeah.
so for clarification, that we are looking at every avenue. Just
Absolutely.
not one, we're looking at all avenues in that.
Yeah, auction, you're gonna get the highest dollar because it's an auction format, so that would be what I would recommend.
Right, thank you.
Right. Okay, moving along to bus purchases. So this is a second recommendation, but the Board of Education is already aware that I came about a year and a half ago and said we should purchase 2 per year, that we don't want to let our fleet get outdated, then we get behind, then we're spending mass amounts of money to catch up. So I propose to the board purchasing 2 per year. So I hope this doesn't come as a surprise, and that just moving forward, now that we're in the new fiscal year, purchasing the 2 for this year. So we would purchase 2 international 77-passenger buses from Midwest Transit. I have the amount there. I have the amount each. This is for 2 of them. Again, it's cooperative pricing through MSBO, so it's already been bid out. The funding source is a little different on this one. This would be sinking fund. And same thing, with the old buses, we can auction them off and recoup some of that cost.
Madam President, Mayor. Yes. Okay, so we've replaced how many after we purchased these 2 is left to
We
handle?
we
or
did
how many?
3 last year,
Okay.
but that's because we needed another special ed bus, if you guys remember, that needed air conditioning, so we were out of compliance on that one at that time. So we did that, bought 3. Now it's 2 per year moving forward, which is about 10% of the fleet, which is the MSBO recommendation for your bus fleet, to replenish that 10% every year and try not to fall behind.
I guess my question is, how many buses in the fleet? So,
think
how
it's-
many do we have after you,
I want to say 30-ish.
30.
I want to say 38, but don't
Okay.
quote me on that. I might not be exact.
So doing it at 2 per year, and you got 30, I mean,
Yeah,
that's a pretty long
so a lot of
scale.
them are just parts and they sit in the back. They're old and they're not utilized. So they're not really part of our current
They're
fleet.
not being used.
They're not being used.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we have one that has a bad motor in it. We have another one that has severe electrical problems. So we have a couple that are in bad shape and not on the road. Those would
So
be
should we
included
be
in the
still
number as well.
maintaining them as part of the fleet, or should we be?
Those would be the 2
salvaging?
that we're looking to get rid of as replacement by
Okay,
these 2.
all right,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for buses before I move on? Moving on. So the last one is a contract, and we all know that all contracts have to come before the Board of Education. This is for the Eagles Nest remodel at the high school. As part of the remodel, the architect designed a soda machine to be in the restaurant to make it as official as possible. It doesn't have to have soda in it either. Some of you might say, hey, soda's not good, but they have diet and lemonade and teas and lots of different beverages that we can put in there. But essentially, it's a soda machine. There's no upfront or installation cost. They give us all the equipment for free. We have to commit to purchase the syrups from them that make the drinks for 5 years was the amount of time. We set the contract to our legal team who reviewed it. They struck out a couple things, made changes. I went back to the company. They're okay with those changes. And so we have for you tonight for your consideration the contract to enter into with a company by the name of Leonard Syrup for the amount of time of 5 years to purchase their syrups from them. Kind of a weird one, but I think that's the best I can explain it, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding a soda machine in the Eagles Nest.
Thank you.
I think that's all. Thank you for your consideration, as always. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Consent agenda. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the August 11th, 2025 consent agenda as presented. Matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine in nature by the Board of Education and will be acted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items. If any member of the board or any citizen requests discussion of an item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will become the first item of business under the report of the superintendent portion. A is approval of the minutes of the Board of Education for July 14th, 2025 organizational meeting. B, approval of bills for payment as submitted by Dana Blair in the amount of $1,335,857.12. C, approval of the financial statements for July 2025. And D, approval of the personnel actions as submitted by Human Resources Director, Mr. Kevin Brock. We have the employment of Joy Gray, special education teacher at Romulus Middle School, Ebony Daniels, secretary at Wick Elementary, Denise Crank, assistant principal secretary at RHS, Gabriella Epley, secretary at Romulus Elementary, Alexandra Kanjamau, art teacher at RHS, Skylar Thomas, math teacher at RHS, Lauren Enriquez, lead teacher at RECC, Amanda Eldridge, special education paraprofessional at WIC, Sherman Green, principal secretary at Romulus High School, Amanda Chatilla, English teacher at Romulus High School, Jason Kozlowski, maintenance department, Antoinette Smith, special education at Romulus High School, Akua Marshall, principal for Romulus Elementary School, Mariah Love, GSRP, Nair Hud, GSRP, and Lauren Enriquez, GSRP lead teacher.
Support. Been motion by Rogers, supported by McCarthy. Any discussion? Roll call.
Rogers is yes. McCarthy.
Yes.
Kamal.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Kennard.
Yes.
And Laster.
Yes.
And agenda is approved.
Thank you so much, Madam Secretary. We are now at the report of the superintendent. I'm sorry, let me back up. Hello, Ms. Marshall. You want to come and say a few words to the people? And congratulations to all the other employees that are moving into new positions or joining the district. Welcome.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
I want to say thank you for approval. I am very excited about joining Romulus Elementary. For so long, I was a part of Romulus Middle School, and it's so hard for me to say Romulus Elementary, but when I got the call and I found out this might be possible for me, I just hit the ground running and got started already. So had a chance to talk to my predecessor already, talk to some of the staff members, and I'm just really excited about this new adventure and really being there for our students. I was born and raised in Inkster, so this is my community. The students that come into Romulus are Romulus students as well as Inkster students. So I'm excited to see what's next in this journey and just exciting for the next step. So thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We appreciate you, Principal Marshall. Has a nice ring to it, huh? All right, and we are at the report of Dr. Edmondson. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Congratulations. Certainly, we talked over the summer a little bit about the potential, so it's great to see you back. I feel very confident, and I told you that. I feel very confident in what you'll be able to add to the school, so thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's good to see Mr. Parker here. I assume he's here in support of you more so than me, but good answer, good answer, good answer. So I had some things written down here beforehand, but one of the first things I was going to bring up was bond, lessons learned. I want to say this is probably my fourth time going, I think fourth time? This is the first time it went down where I've been somewhere. It was very close. Those of you know that we anticipated it very close. If you look at the history of Romulus, there are many, many votes since 1999 that are very close. So we expected that. I can say that I was disappointed for sure in a number of things. I don't know how public I want to be about it, but I just was. Only a fool looks back and says that they wouldn't do things differently. So, of course, I think of things that we could do differently and that I could do differently. But I appreciate Mr. Eddings, yes, and Mr. Warren for both of you coming out. I appreciate hearing from you. One thing that I say in my position, and you don't know me, okay, and I know you don't know me, and that's okay, but I've always tried to be accessible anytime anybody has anything. I do go out and talk to people often, but I also encourage them to come in, but I know it's not that easy. People don't feel like you're the superintendent. You're not going to take, yes, I am, because I'm interested. because I do think that is an issue. I'm looking at Mr. Warren right now specifically because I was like, how do you get to other communities? We put out 9,000 mailers in itself, just informational, that mentioned the 4 open houses that we had. We had 4 open houses. We also put them out on our marquees. Okay, I made phone calls to parents. We had a total of 7 members of the community for all 4. They were done. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, yeah, I know, I mean, just part of it is, I mean, there's a lot of things, but we had 2 morning sessions, 2 evening sessions to accommodate different schedules over a 3 or 4 week period. And again, marquees and the mailers that we put out, the open houses, it was just disappointing. I'll say that it was just overall disappointing. Yes, we did commercials. You've seen some of the commercials. By law, and I want to educate everybody a little bit here, and I'm not assuming that you all know or not, and I'm not also assuming that you don't know. There's only certain things that we can do from my point of view. I can at all times talk positively about a bond. I can say, go support it, and so can the school board. No staff member can do that on school time at all. They just can't do it. I can't use district money to say vote yes, though I'd like to, but I can't put anything out except the facts. So I put the facts out. We had a committee. There was a committee that was supposed to go out and push the bond in the community. We had some board members on the committee. We had other people on the committee. To me, it was a disappointment. I'm disappointed because it just went defunct. There's only so much that I can do to get involved in my capacity to intervene, okay? So just some of the things that I was thinking about too is, because I'm old school too, Mr. Warren, I'm born in the 60s. So I still like to read stuff. I'm not a guy that looks at the phone and texts this. I just can't, my brain can't even operate like that. I like to read it. I like it to come to my house and for me to read it. That's how I am. I like to go visit and sit with somebody because that's how I am. I just can't do it any other way. So I understand that, and also so I feel like there's an age gap and a technology gap that we all face, many of us. I don't necessarily know how to, I don't want to say reach the young folks. I mean, I see my own son, and I'm just speaking openly and honestly here, but my son, I came home, and then we were just talking about after it happened. The next morning is when I actually found out because I had fallen asleep waiting. But I was disappointed in the turnout. I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it, not only here, nationwide. And there's something that's going on in our nation. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm not here to grandstand, but there's a polarization that's happening right now. There's a disconnect. There is truly the polarization. There's a divide. It's hard. It is hard to address it in this role, in my role, because some people are either here or you're there. There was a community member that's been here for 40, 50 years. She came to the open house, she and her husband, totally against, and I knew it, you could feel it, totally against. And what I say this is, and what I would say to anyone is, I'm not here to have to convince you. I want to give you the information so that you go out and vote in your best interest, whatever is in your best interest. Yes, I will represent this school district. I will put the kids on my back. But I want you to have the information. I was shocked by the amount of misinformation. And with misinformation, I would think, this is me, again, that if I have misinformation, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to say, well, this is what I heard, or I'm going to come check it out myself. So the 2 people that were there, they heard what I said. I think they had already voted by then, but they heard what I said, and they appreciated the honesty, because that's what you're going to get. I'm not here to do a commercial and try to convince you. I'm going to tell you how your tax value is, how your taxes are aligned with your property value. Okay, that's a fact. On this one, I thought about this. I was just thinking about this last week. What's today, Monday? Last week, I said, yeah, taxes go down for everybody, roughly $270. If your house is valued at $200,000, they take $100,000, and then you get you go from 7 mills, which would be $700, to in January, it now goes to $430. That's the drop. So everybody is going to experience that drop now. Everybody will experience that, but depending on the value of your home. So you're going to experience tax relief. We went out to do that bond specifically then because if we got people, once it dropped down to 4.3, then the bond adds 2.7. So that's why we use the term net zero increase. I wanted to say it was a zero increase, but the people that I work with said you cannot say it's zero because it really is. It does pop up, but it's a net zero increase. So 7 mills, they would still feel the 7 mills. Now we're in a situation, back to Mr. Eddings, because I am thinking, okay, what's the plan now? Because taxes have now, they will drop in January. Everybody's going to see it. So now when we come out, we have to tell every taxpayer, your property value goes up. And that's a hard sell for anybody. That's a hard sell. It's a hard sell when I live in another community and I have no kids there, okay? But I understand in my role, okay, in my role in education, I understand I better support them because I know that my taxes, the value of my home, value of my house, home is inside, house outside, value of my house aligns with what happens at that school. One of the things that I dealt with, and this is to everybody, not the two gentlemen, and I appreciate you, and Ms. Ebbets, I appreciate you getting up and speaking, I do, is that, now I forgot, that's what happens to me, just in the middle of it, that's why I'm born in the 60s, I'm like, I can't, I'm just telling you this continues to happen. But, yes, it's happening. I'm like, man, again? Now I forgot what I was going to say, but I'll remember it shortly. One of the things that I did for the board, it's ironic that I brought this book in today out of my car. I said, let me bring this book. It's called Crisis in the Classroom. Ben Carson, Benjamin Crump, and Armstrong Williams. But in here was the telegram that was sent out July 3rd to July 9th. There's my picture. And it reads, Romulus Community School District asking voters to approve bond proposal in August. I've done these things. Whether people read them or not, that's different. I have done those. I did an article with Bridge Magazine. I did an article today, again, with the Telegram. Theirs wasn't what's next. But I also noticed that of the 12, sorry, you made me think of that, but of the 12 communities that went out for bonds, schools, 8 of them passed, 4 of them failed. I can tell you about the 4, they're all small districts, okay, small districts. So that's something that I think about. Okay, they all have something in common. We all have something in common as a small district, usually a small, tight district. That's what you'll get. No, but Livonia was not a school bond. That was municipal, right? Yeah. 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 So.
I was just trying to compare apples to oranges when I said
Yeah.
that.
No, I.
We have very few people here, you know what I mean? Not even kids, even people, I mean, 30% of it's all business.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
When I moved here, it was all farms. So it seemed that shrink, that people and the families all shrank because the business, they're buying farms and they're making big buildings everywhere. You know, that was my point I was trying to get at is, you know.
I appreciate
you got
that.
a bigger thing, the pie is bigger, however you want to say it. And then now with the fewer people we got and the amount of people that have, you know, just the pie's full. That's my point.
I appreciate that. And what I want to say to you, because, and we all know it here, everybody here knows it. There's a few that are out there. You don't engage in a board meeting, you don't engage. So sometimes I can understand how you'd be frustrated, like they don't even want to talk to me. Because it's the kind of like the rule that we don't engage. So I'm like,
And I didn't stop you because, no, you're fine,
No,
because
that's all
the
right. That's
bond
why-
is such a sensitive issue. No.
no, so I appreciate that, and the board gives me time to talk because I do talk about things. No, so I appreciate that. So it's not that we, even when Mr. Perkins he didn't want to engage. We want to, we really want to. I am available to have these engagements, and I do have these engagements with people, and I say, please come. I'll come to your house, and I'll walk you around the school. Now I remembered what I was going to say. That's how it works. Okay, now I remember, it just came. So there were people in the community that said, oh, Romulus schools, they're not educating kids. The kids aren't being educated. They don't learn anything. The achievement is bad. So I had to combat that too. The one thing that I say, there's many things I say. When you're in a public school, you get who you get. I don't get what a charter school or private school gets to do and say, no, not here. You're 3 years behind. You're 2 years behind. Your parents aren't working with you at home. No, you can't come here. We have to take every student that walks through here. So I was thinking next week or in 2 weeks when I meet with all the teachers, my phrase, what I'm going to say to them is, until the narrative changes here, the narrative's still going to be the same out there. And we have to understand that I cannot educate children when they're in their house. I don't, but I can educate them when they come in here. So I said, the narrative should be this. You should ask anyone that works in our district, what is your growth like? Because when I was a principal in Ann Arbor, we had high achievement, but low growth. Students aren't learning a lot in the year because they already come with what you're trying to teach them, they already know. Conversely, Romulus is a lower achievement district with a higher growth because kids come in and they don't know a ton of stuff. They don't. So our job is to educate them and move them forward. So I try to tell people it looks like this. Somebody comes into the school, they're 2 years behind. They start in September, they're 2 years behind. Y'all know you know what that looks like. We're educating the same kids, 2 years behind. At the end of the year, they're now 1 year behind. We don't ever celebrate that. Nobody celebrates that. All they want to do is say that your kids don't know. Your kids don't know this. They can't compete. They can't. What about the growth? We've got to talk about that. And growing up in my age, we never talked about growth. We talked about achievement, what you got on that score. That's what people cared about, and that's still out there. But we've got to change, and I've got to help you change the narrative that it is about growth. What do they learn while they're with you that particular year? I can hold any teacher accountable for growth. Achievement is a little bit more difficult, and it's complex because some kids just aren't even test takers. They can't do it. Okay? I always say, listen, I got into many colleges, but if you ask me my SAT scores, I'm very happy that I had 7 other things that were going for me because I just could not take that. I tried it, and I didn't do well both times I took it, and I scored 10 points difference on both of them. And I won't let anybody ever measure me by my SAT score. You're never going to do that to me. And I don't want that, and I saw that. I was reading some of the things online. I didn't put myself in there, okay? Phrase for me, you wrestle with a pig, you both get dirty, and the pig loves it. I'm not doing that. We're not jumping into that. I'm not going to go into that. But I will say that. I will defend our teaching staff, our principals, and even our community. But I can't. I try to teach parents. I try to tell them and teach them. If you just give them 30 minutes at home, that's all kids need is 30 minutes of their parents working with them on multiplication. It doesn't take much to get students here. I want people to know in this community that the expectations for our students are high. They're very high. I'm not going to have low expectations for kids because if they reach them, who cares? They're low. I want kids to reach for here, and if they fall short and they come here, I'm okay with that. And I think everybody should be okay with that. If your expectations are high, kids at least know what you expect from them. So I do go to bat for this community. There are things that I would look at differently now. There are things. I think as a school board, I thought we could have done more. That's it. I'm not going to say anything more about that. I can't control what they do. I've seen some of the things. We did okay. Should have done better. I also recognize, too, when we had the discussion of when to have this, we were pretty specific on when we needed to have it, and then something happened politically where we said, well, I guess we'll have to just keep going. Okay, it didn't matter if something else was not on the ballot when we expected something to be on the ballot, and it wasn't. So it's like, well, we'll continue because we're going to wait till November. So those things happen. If you were to ask me to do it again, I'm not doing a summer one. No way. There is no way I'm doing a summer. I'll tell everybody that. Because parents are disengaged, community's disengaged, they're on vacation, nobody's thinking about the school. But for anybody to say that's why we put it on the ballot, that's a lie. You ask me, I'll tell you, that's a lie. But never do that. That's not who I am, trying to sneak something through. Never gonna do that. Never. My team, we were very strategic on it needs to go here because there's gonna be a primary at this particular. Nothing happened, so kind of stuck. Okay. Yes, we could have gone back to November. I would have had active parents. I would have put things in kids' hands that I wasn't able to do. When I looked at the numbers, I felt really badly. I'm going to tell you some more information because people don't know that. Okay. When I sent out a message the day of, now, Dr. Cheney's back there. She can explain because she's a parent. I know that she had to get all of those efforts that I made, all of the efforts that I made in this community. Okay. Particularly, right now, I'm just talking about our parents. Our parents. The day of that I send out a voicemail, I said, today's the day. You're not going to hear me again. Today is the day. 267 phone calls returned. You know why? Because the number was incorrect. An emergency card with 267 parents whose number is not correct. You tell me what happens when that kid gets injured or something happens or worse, and I have to make a phone call. I can't even reach them. 250 parents hung up on it immediately. 1,300 did not. So I guess it went to their voicemail or something else. When I saw that we had 2,800, I sent out 9,000 mailers. We got a problem. And it's not just us, okay? It's societal. If you saw some of the other elections, they were pretty poor too. So I am strategic now. I mean, it's not that I wasn't then, but I'm like, the next one that we could do, truly, you could do November, but at that point, it's too difficult. You have to go to the state. There's a whole process to this. It takes months to do it. So the next one is May. And I was thinking, well, I guess we'll get out. I'll talk to the board about that and what that looks like. Anybody that's willing to support the schools, I'm willing to have you. There's only so much I can do and say. I can say anything, but I can't use resources to say vote yes. But I can be out there and there's a lot of things that I can do. And now that it failed, and it's my first one failing, I'm like, ooh, that stung. It stung for me, a little personal for me. But only 200 votes says we could have passed that. We got to pass that. I have to educate our parents, too, about the importance of getting out and vote. I shouldn't have to do that. In 2025, we have to tell people the importance of voting? But I guess I do. It's just that simple. I guess I do. So those are just a few things that I would do. I would be willing to sit down with any group. Mr. Warren, invite me. Otherwise, it's a blind shoot for me. I don't know where to go. But if there's a group, I want to be there. I'm going to have the conversation. I'm going to sell the district. I'm going to be honest about, yeah, we're not doing it there. Or yes, we are doing it there. I'm going to give you that, okay? And when I go back to that person that was a no vote, today I called her, and I thanked her for voting. I said, I know how you voted, but I thank you for voting. I thank you for coming and giving me a chance to be able to speak. And she said to me, I trust you. I absolutely trust you. She said, you're very transparent, and you were very honest. She said, but, and then she said there's some things. She was giving me some things on what needs to change, and some of that I don't have any control. I don't have any control of what happens in somebody's household. But I will say this. I did say to our principals, we need a PTSO. We need to have those. I think that would have been huge if we had a PTSO who can go out, that's Parent Teacher Student Organization, or PTA, that goes out and can give information to parents that generally aren't there. I think we could do that. So there are some other things. Okay, right now, I need to emotionally, I guess woo-saw would be the word, but emotionally, because this is the first time for me that I feel I'm going into the school year and I'm tired. I had a wonderful summer. That's what's crazy. I had a wonderful summer, but I'm tired because that's emotional. Doing all of that for the 3 months was emotional, but it's over and I feel good that it's over. So I just wanted to at least address the two gentlemen and Ms. Ebbets. Hers wasn't really about that, but Sue, I appreciate that you did come up. Appreciate that. Thank you. So I just wanted to say that. You can go online and you can look at the Bridge Magazine. Just put in Bridge Magazine. They did an article with me and another school district that failed that was smaller. And, what are you going to do and why do you think the reasons were? And I was honest about it, what I think it was. I mean, some of the things. Telegram just did an interview with me yesterday. So there'll be something else that comes out probably here that's more local, kind of tell you how I think and what I'd like to see. The mayor and I were talking about, I've put things in his magazine that comes out. I don't know how many he does. I thought it was quarterly. I've done 3 out of 4, but they're backed up. So like right now, the one that comes out in December, I have to have finished by September. So you're always behind on that one. But I just want you to know there are plenty of things that we did, and there's plenty of lessons that I could learn. And I'm a competitor. Everybody will say that. I don't need to compete against you. I compete against myself at a very high level. I don't need anybody to compete against except me. I have a level of expectation for me, and that one didn't do it for me. I didn't make it, so I'm driven even more to make sure that it's going to happen. Because sometimes, as I said in the newspaper, a leader gets results that he or she doesn't like. And that's what I got, and that's what I'm going to do is address it. So thank you all for that. Speaking of good news, and I'm sorry it took so long, but it was important to have that conversation. But speaking of good news, Ms. Tenney came up and spoke about that student that I don't know, but I do know Skylar Thomas. And Skylar Thomas is an alum here. She graduated, if I had to guess, I'm not sure if I was there, so I would guess 2020. She was your year? I didn't know if she was your year. But I remember her in 2020. But she's our new math teacher. That's something great when kids, in this case, kids, want to come back to your school district and make a difference. So I'm very excited about her coming. I believe she was band. Was she in the band or no? She was color guard. Color guard. pseudo ban. I know, I saw that. Did you see that? Did you see that? I saw that. But that's a good thing, and we don't do enough celebrating of that. When we find out we need to celebrate, and I need to put that out there, that we have an alum who's come back, and I can tell you, she loves this district. She loves this district. So I'm glad to see those things. And Sandy, thank you. Thank you for breaking the tension. No, but seriously, thank you for acknowledging that, and we need to do more of that when we find out. I have here, again, I said congratulations to Ms. Marshall. I'm going to address Ms. Ebbets' question real fast about one. Scott Rourke. So you asked about the TLP. One. So one person got a superintendency, which I feel really proud about. Another person was a supervisor, opted to retire early. When we put her in that position as an interim, she retired early. So, now we're down to two. I was like, we're down to two. And then the person that we had done an extensive interview process. You all know because I shared it with you, and I shared what just happened. Our candidate, who we were very excited about, came from another district. Well, her colleague was director of curriculum. Her colleague then became the superintendent. And then as the superintendent, she said, I'd like you to take my position as the director of curriculum. Wow. I can't do anything about that but cry. I was just devastated. I was devastated because the timing, it's the timing. When Kevin Brock calls me at 7:20 and says, and his whole tone, I was like, because first of all, nobody calls you at 7:20 usually unless it's bad news. He shared that with me, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I can assure the board that we're out there again, we're out there promoting. It will be posted if it's not already, should be. We still have a couple candidates of interest that we had already been through the process. So we have a couple people that we're interested in. To Ms. Ebbets' point, we're gonna have to revamp what that looks like. And now I'm going to Mr. Eddings, says I'm thinking about you again. Any ideas of closing schools is a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous thing to do, and I will share this with you. Right, okay, right, okay. I just wanted, right.
But I mean, you're talking about a lot of that money is going to cost the rehab to them. That's what I'm looking at.
Okay. So it's a, go ahead, we're going, the board is very gracious. Now, don't take up all my time, Mr. Eddings. I'm kidding, you don't know my humor.
Here's the people I want you to capture that would have changed my mind. The people that we don't get that leave. We need to get them back. That's my point.
Yes, so in one of the open houses, I was asked this question. What do you think about enrollment? What's going to happen here? Now, there's some people that can remember. I was in the auditorium when I said that. So there's a couple of things. He said, based on enrollment, and I put up an enrollment trend in the United States. There's only 4 states where students, North Dakota, South Dakota, Idaho, and Delaware? I think it was Delaware. Okay, not Michigan. Michigan's enrollment is going down like everybody else's. So the person asked me, and by the end of that meeting, he said he was voting yes. He said it publicly. But the question was, what do you expect? If you see that trend, what do you expect here? I said, well, naturally, based on that trend, you would think that the answer would be, we're going to lose students. I said, but there's 1,900 students that live in Romulus that have chosen to leave this district. It's hard for them to come back like anything else. You get divorced, you don't come back to your same spouse. I'm just saying, you don't. When you lose people, they don't come back. Generally speaking, they don't come back. So what I said was, if we could just get 10%, do you know what that does for us? That increases our enrollment. And I have to do everything that I can to do that. The trends are very, very clear on where we lose, what it looks like. But I will say this to anyone. When I first started here, the number was 2,000. The number is not 2,000 anymore. It's 1,900. So I feel better. I'm not saying it's us, but that's a better number. So if we could get those students back, we are doing all types of things to try to bring students back, and I will stick with that. And lastly, and then I'm going to be done, is that when I said when you close a school, so Mr. Eddings, you could probably finish this phrase, Superintendency 101. So whenever you're looking for a superintendent, I would suggest get one that's experienced. That's all I'm going to say. You never close a building if you don't know what you're going to do with it, i.e. Merriman. I'm not blaming anybody's leadership before me. Merriman and Mount Pleasant are sitting there. I don't care what's going on. You've got to think 3 and 4 times about closing a school. And as I said before, You close the school, and then those kids come into the other schools and they're disenfranchised. The community turns on them and says, you're not welcome here. I don't care what community is. You come from a certain side of town, no matter where it is. Towns are polarized. We don't want you in our school. That's sometimes the feeling that communities get. If you're in Westland and you're in Westland and you come on over to sometime, you're not welcomed. It's just, that's what happens. So I would never put us out there saying we need to close buildings, we need to repurpose. Until your numbers really drop, then you really have to have that conversation. And it may be something that we do have to talk about. But at this point, not gonna do that. If I close Barth, can you imagine how packed this place would be? Or any school. Sue says, oh my God, no, Hale Creek too. I'm just throwing it out. Right, if you close any of them, what that's gonna do in it puts the community against each other. I can't do it. I leave, let somebody else make that decision, but under my tenure, I'm not gonna make that decision. That would be one where I would consider I gotta go, because guess who they're gonna look at? Guess who they're going to blame? The superintendent gets blamed for that decision. So I don't wanna create any more. Listen, I am available, ask anyone, my administrative assistant, give everybody my card, anybody that's watching, please. I am a talker. I love to be able to have this conversation about this school district. I'm not worried about that it's 702, because I think it was very important to have this mic. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Birdies for Eagle outing tomorrow. I hope to see everybody. We've raised a lot of money for kids, a lot. We have a golf outing. I don't want to say it's oversold, but when you have 36 teams, okay, normally you only have one team per hole. We have 2 teams of 4 per hole. Do the math on how many people we have. It has grown every single year. It is in demand. If you'd like to come and see and feel the synergy of that day, please come on out tomorrow and see it. It's going to be electric, and I appreciated everybody that donated raffle baskets and donated their time to help us. It's going to be exciting. So thank you. I'm good.
Thank you, Dr. Edmondson. We are now at the report of the great Jason Perkins. He has 3 action items. Can someone read those?
Recommended motion. Move that the Board of Education approves the 5-year contract with Leonard Syrups as presented. Rationale, entering into a contract for beverage service will help our school district's restaurants streamline operations, ensure consistent product quality, and provide students and customers with a reliable selection of popular drinks. Partnering with a single beverage provider can also reduce costs through volume discounts, simplifying ordering and inventory management, and support our culinary program's educational mission by exposing children to real-world vendor relationships and industry standards. This agreement ultimately enhances the dining experience, improves operational efficiency, and helps maintain the restaurant's financial sustainability as a valued part of our district and community. Budget implications are CTE funds, and everything is attached.
Support.
It's been motioned by Rogers, supported by Davis. Any discussion? Roll call.
Rogers is yes. Davis.
Yes.
Kamal.
Yes.
Kennard.
Yes.
McCarthy.
Yes.
Laster.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Action item for the bus purchase.
Madam President, move that the Board of Education approve the purchase of 2 buses from Midwest Transit at a cost to the district of $310,752 as presented. Rationale, replacing our district's aging school buses is essential to maintaining safe, reliable transportation for our students. New buses will reduce maintenance costs and unexpected breakdowns, helping ensure students arrive at school and return home on time every day. Modern buses also meet updated safety and environmental standards, supporting student well-being and lowering our carbon footprint. This investment demonstrates the district's commitment to student safety, operational efficiency, and responsible resource management, while also strengthening community confidence in the quality and reliability of our transportation services. Budget implications, sinking fund, exhibit, quote from Midwest Transit.
Support. Been motioned by Davis, supported by Kennard. Any discussion? Roll call.
Davis.
Yes.
Kennard.
Yes.
McCarthy.
Yes.
Kamal.
Yes.
Laster.
Yes.
Rogers is yes. Motion is approved.
Thank you. Action item for the vehicle purchase.
Move that the Board of Education approve the purchase of 3 F-250 4x4 Super Cab pickup trucks from Grono Ford at a cost to the district of $209,190. The rationale is to keep our district and buildings safe and accessible during winter. The district must replace aging and unreliable snow removal equipment. Purchasing 3 new plow trucks will help ensure timely snow and ice removal across multiple sites, reducing weather-related delays and disruptions to the school day. New trucks will also lower cost repairs associated with older equipment, improve operational efficiency, and reinforce our commitment to providing safe, well-maintained facilities. This investment supports the district's image as a proactive, responsible steward of resources and helps protect the safe of our students, staff, and community. The budget implications is the general funds, and the exhibits are in the board package pertaining to grown-up Ford estimate.
Support.
It's been motioned by Kennard, supported by Rogers. Any discussion? Roll call.
Kennard.
Yes.
Rogers is yes. Laster.
Yes.
McCarthy.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Kamal.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. We have an action item under the interim Director of Teaching, Learning, and Professional Development, Dr. Edmondson. Can someone read that for me?
Madam President, move that the Board of Education approves the purchase of the Mystery Science curriculum materials at the elementary level at a cost to the district of $76,000 for all 4 elementary schools as presented. Rationale, in alignment with the district's strategic priorities and commitment to sustaining high-quality science instruction, this purchase supports the renewal and restocking of consumable materials for the already implemented Mystery Science curriculum at all 4 elementary schools. These materials are essential for continuing the hands-on, inquiry-based learning experiences that align with NGSS standards and foster student engagement in scientific thinking. The renewal ensures that teachers can continue delivering consistent, high-impact lessons that support exploration, experimentation, and academic success in science education. Budget implications, general fund, exhibits quote from Mystery Science.
Support.
Been motioned by Davis, supported by Rogers. Any discussion? Roll call.
Davis.
Yes.
Rogers is yes. Kamal.
Yes.
Kennard.
Yes.
McCarthy.
Yes.
Laster.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Thank you so much. And we are now at the report of board subcommittees. Any updates?
Curriculum committee will reconvene when we have a new TOP director. No updates from us at this time. No,
It will.
we will
Will.
reconvene when we have. You are the real deal. I respect.
He's AI, so just like,
Why do you always think I'm dissing you?
you know. All right.
No,
Thank you, curriculum.
for sure.
All right. Moving forward, we closing that out? All righty. We're now at the report of the board president. I want to welcome all the new employees. That's very, can I do my?
That's under her report. She doing
under her report.
Yes, it's under her report.
Stick to curriculum.
Okay.
No, that's true, because I definitely miss things. But I want to welcome the new employees, especially Ms. Skylar Thomas. That's interesting to hear, because I know Dr. Molnar said with the teacher cadet program, she wanted in 4 years one of those students to come back. So just to have someone come back just off the strength, and clearly to hear that she loves the district, because at your leadership summit, I heard all the careers. I want to be this, I want to be that. Nobody said a teacher. Nobody said anything in education, not even a guidance counselor or anything. So we talk about the right now, what is the future? Because if students and people graduating are not going into education, what's happening here? So that's very exciting. One, I think she'll come back and maybe spark to the students that are here, and hopefully be some type of ignite that we have where we'll have multiple students coming back into the district. So I wanted to say congratulations and welcome to her. When you talked about growth, it sparked something, because I know working in education, you have 4th graders that are on a 2nd grade reading level. They have a story problem. If they can't read and don't know what a temperature probe is, how can you answer the question? And then you want the teacher to have a magic wand and do all of this, because it takes a village. And then you have a parent that's upset about a call home from a behavior, but you don't know the teacher's name when May comes, and you don't come to a parent-teacher conference. So you can't put everything on the teacher. You can't put everything on the principal. It does take a village. It does take us, and it's hard as a parent because you're working, you're doing things and stuff like that, but a lot of these babies do not know how to read. And that's the foundation. You can't do math and science and all of that if you can't read. So when you spoke about growth and how we have lower achievement, but the growth is there, to get someone from a second grade reading level, by the time they leave, at least they're at a third grade level, they're getting some type of growth. So I think when you don't work in the field, it is hard to understand because you just want to hear about achievement. And also I put this out to all parents, volunteer. Do a field trip. You will have a lot of grace for a lot of the teachers and a lot of the staff that goes on. Just one field trip, I tell you, Greenfield Village, it'll probably set you straight for a year just to see what goes on. Like, oh my God, this lady has to deal with 30 students doing this. And oh my God, my student is acting up because they're angels with you. But when they come to us, we see different sides and we love them all. But it takes a village and it takes that parent engagement, because to see parent-teacher conference not filled up and things like that, you can't hold the school district accountable to the certain degrees that it is when we don't have the help. It has to be a collective effort, and it also is on our teaching staff. Curriculum, interim. We need to make sure what's going on. If we have some stuff that needs to be changed in there, and some things are happening now, and so it needs to be that stern, whoever we're going to get to come in and make sure we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, because our job is to teach the students. And that's if they come from Inkster, Timbuktu, or Wakanda. We're teaching them. So that it doesn't matter. Wherever. Okay, thank you. All righty. I also wanted to speak on the public comment forum was mentioned, and I take accountability for this because when I went to training and I took the course from Troon, the law firm, about Open Meetings Act, because when I got on the board, public comment was a hot ticket. I mean, we would be like, whew, don't know if you don't know what's coming. So I was like, man, that's a good class to take. And once I took the class, I'm like, all the boards have issues. They even talked about people setting up like cameras, their own production crew, and like, what do you do with that? You can't tell somebody to leave. It's like different rules in different sectors that go on. And we all know that public comment is First Amendment. So it is a slippery slope when somebody is attacking the board or they're saying something, but if they're saying something that is related to the job title or the duties of what they have to do, a person can say that. Or if they're saying Dr. Edmondson is a sleazeball, yeah, that's a personal attack because they didn't tie it to your job. So it's like all of these different things, and I will take the feedback and work on this public comment forum to address it, because it does say that personal attacks on board members and district employees will not be tolerated. But I can count on my hand how many times we've had public comment right here. We've had about 5. And the comments that, and I'm old, AARP Junior, it's never been a name called. It's only been, I guess, comments that have been made, but a person feels away. But it hasn't been, Portia took my parking spot and she did X, Y, and Z. It was never that. So I know as the president, it's my job to keep peace and decorum and make sure we don't have a breach of peace. But from what I've observed, it hasn't been something where somebody has personally been called out by name for their actions. And if I'm wrong, we can have a conversation off-site to make sure everybody is welcome and they say what they want to say, because your 3 minutes are important. Whatever you want to say, that's on you, and we have to listen to it and we have to act on that. But I think it's a slippery slope too when a person comes up and they make a comment and then somebody else says something, but you don't want to be held accountable for what you say, and we look over here at what the other person is saying. So we just have to be respectful, and what you're saying, it's important to you, but you can't come and point the finger, because always remember 3 are pointing back at you. So what was that? Since we can go ahead and talk because we've already opened it up. And this was your question. You can go ahead, Sue.
No, I just feel that because my name isn't stated, it's a direct, I've been under attack by this person for 5 years. I mean, come on.
And I understand, and it's a little bit.
It doesn't say, in reality, if you go to the OMA, that podium is for business, not personal, okay? That is for business. You are to come, the OMA says that it is to be talked about the district, not people. Not people, not individuals. It's for the business. And really, it's about the agenda.
And that's true. But from Troon Law, and I took very copious notes from them, a person could come up there and play Little John if they wanted to. They can come and do really what they want to do with those 3 minutes because of the First Amendment. But like I said, I will try to hone in on some type of direct knowledge, and I'll work with the law firm to make sure. But at the end of the day, we do have to understand that as long as it's not a breach of peace or somebody is directly calling somebody.
It's a continuous issue.
And is the issue because the person is saying something and they're not saying your name? Like, because if I'm just a person listening in and I don't know that, I would only know because you're, but the person in question never said your name. And listen, and from sitting here we get them all the time. The strays come sometimes when you don't even do anything, so.
Have you had anybody charge the table after you?
No, but I did have to have police presence outside, and that's the reason why a meeting wasn't recorded for safety issues. So I definitely understand. So I just want to make sure, and just to speak on that, there were 2 meetings in July that wasn't recorded, and I'll put my business out there. It was regarding something for my safety, and I did have Romulus police outside because I did not feel safe coming in a board meeting and leaving out. And the other one was because Mike Ellison was presenting on our marketing, so we didn't want our districts around to get some of the stuff that he was talking about and take it and run with it. So that's the reason for those 2 meetings not being recorded. It is never to not be transparent to the taxpayers and the people in the community. So I just wanted to set that straight as well. But Sue, I'm open to talking to you. We can even work on this together if you have some language. However, I just want to make sure everybody feels comfortable coming forth and coming to meetings. That's the goal here, is not to shut anybody up, because we all can speak. We all have 3 minutes, but it's just the decorum of doing it. All right. And I also want to say, too, we did let a little conversation go as presentations were going and Dr. Edmondson was speaking. That's typically, it's not how it works, but with the bond being such a sensitive issue, I felt like at this point, under the leadership, let the community speak. I was expecting actually more people to come because Facebook was actually off the chain. But
So
here
don't
we
get
are.
used to it.
Yeah, so we're not gonna really do that, but our doors are open. Our numbers are on the our emails. If you need our business cards, we are open for any type of thing. And I'll let Vice President talk about what we have coming up for the community as well. And that's all I have. I don't want to be like Dr. Edmondson. It was just a stray. I wanted to give you a stray today. Oh, it was because I was being long-winded. Oh, Dr. Cheney, go ahead.
I have some positivity to add because.
Come on up, Dr. Cheney.
Please say the doctor.
They already know what I'm about to say.
Champions.
Yes. So we mentioned the track and field athletes that were former Romulus alums. So I also wanted to add my 2 junior Olympians. We just returned from Texas not too long ago, and I'll let them say a bit about what they did. We have best in the state in the presence. Go ahead.
We competed in the Junior Olympics in Texas. I didn't get the place I wanted to get in shot put, discus, and hurdles. But I didn't make it in hurdles. But I did good in shot put and discus. It's my first year doing discus. I did real good for my first year. Then in shot put, I've been regional champion for 3 years.
All right.
And I did really good. I didn't get the place I wanted to.
But you made it, baby. Number 17 in the country.
All right, all right.
Can you reach it? You got it.
All my events. Who do you go to? Barth. Jacqueline. My events were the triathlon, the 400 long jump, and the high jump. And the triathlon is high jump, 200 and shot put mixed together. And I think I got 20-something place in that.
Okay. 5 in the country.
Okay.
And for the 400, I'm number 1 in the state with the time up.
Well, you know, if you can just come up here and sign my books.
Get that autograph and have it.
For real, I need your autographs right here.
With a time of a 106.
All right.
and high. Very humble.
I'm very proud of the Cheney
Amen.
family. I've actually seen them in real time competing at some events. They actually, I think one of them ran against my daughter. My daughter was trying her best coming around at 200. I said, Eris, turn on the jets. And I see Jacqueline go, shoo. I saw them at the rec a couple weeks later. I'm like, where they train at? And they telling me the place. I'm like, all right, well, I need to sign my kids up. But I always see them at Romulus Athletic Center putting in the work. And that's the problem with this generation. So many kids want instant success, instant gratification. You can't go in the gym, take a picture of yourself and say clock in, and then you scroll on your phone for 2 hours, and then you say clock out, hashtag 10,000 hours. I see these young ladies putting the work in, and it's a family affair. I see Dr. Cheney, her husband, they over there lifting, they're running, so it's amazing, and that's how you train up a child in the way that they should go. It's a family affair. So I'm very proud of you, young ladies. More student athletes or students can take a page out of your book. Keep up the great work.
I want to make y'all, I'm going to get y'all autograph. So I'll come to you. I want to make them come up.
Madam President, Portia Laster used to be a hurdler as well.
I actually did run track. Mr. Logan was the coach at the middle school, but I didn't have a mom that pushed me because when I wanted to quit because it was hot outside and I'd rather go get McDonald's, my mom was like, okay, you can quit. But I think about that now as a parent, you're not quitting, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes when your parents don't know or they're not into that, then so that is inspiring, you know, and I do see, I think about Clarissa Shield, all these people where it's small town, all of that, and just millionaires now in a household name. So I will be getting your autographs. I have donated in the past to you guys, and I will continue because I believe in you. And you guys are the fruition of what we believe in this district, poster childs in the family. So thank
Fruit
you.
of Romulus.
Period. Okay. Well, like I said, I'm done, so I'll get to you guys because I can talk as well. But thank you. I want to just thank everybody for coming out. And is it Miss Basitas? Did I say it proper? Okay. Thank you for coming up and speaking as well and for all you've done for 19 years. So a hidden gem because a nurse, when I was an office assistant, I was a baby nurse with the Band-Aids and all of that. So I understand a slight little bit of what you put in. So thank you. The throw up, all of that. Grey's Anatomy is as far as I can go. All righty, Ms. Kamal. Oh, I'm sorry. See? Iron sharpens iron. You got me. You want to read the action item?
I got it.
Hilarious.
Recommended motion. Well, this is for our MASB conference that's coming up for the delegates. So recommended motion, move that the Board of Education certifies blank and blank of Romulus Community Schools as we have to come up with our.
Who have not, I guess.
I'm interested.
You're interested?
Yeah.
Okay, so this also, you have to go to the conference and you have to be there Thursday to represent us.
Is it just one day?
No, it's the
The
whole
conference is
But this portion is on
Thursday night.
It's a week long.
It's Thursday to Sunday.
Right, but if you are a delegate,
A delegate, you have to be on Thursday.
I just got a game on Saturday. Can I say
Oh, you can
Thursday,
still
Friday?
recommend yourself for a delegate, yeah. 'cause
Okay.
you'll be there Thursday.
But I don't have to stay the whole weekend.
No.
Yep. No, just
I
kidding.
didn't.
Yeah,
So-
because it's a lot.
We have McCarthy,
I-
anyone else?
I can
I
be
would
there
like
for
to be
Saturday.
as well.
Okay, so we have McCarthy for the,
Oh, that's not- Oh,
That's
I
a
can stay at the
4 hour though.
Delamar. I'm good.
okay. So we have McCarthy
I like the Delamar.
and Rogers. Make a motion for McCarthy and Rogers to represent us as delegates.
Support.
And motion. Yeah, so
That's what we
McCarthy
just
will be
did.
and then, you want to be the backup? Sue? Oh, okay.
Yes, she
I was
do.
just checking in.
That's what we just.
Okay, so McCarthy will be the original, and then Rogers will be just in case something happens as the backup.
Recommended, I'm already there. Recommended motion. Move that the Board of Education certifies Paris McCarthy as the Romulus Community Schools delegate and Ursula Rogers as the alternate for the MASB 2025 Delegate Assembly. Rationale, 2025 MASB Delegate Assembly participation. Budget implication is none. The exhibits are attached.
It's been motioned by Rogers, supported by Kennard. Any discussion?
I'm gonna be there.
Copy that. Roll call.
Rogers is yes. Kennard.
Yes.
Kamal.
Yes.
McCarthy.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Laster.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right, thank you. All right, and now we are at communications from board. Trustee Kamal? Trustee Kennard?
Yes. So to everyone who came before us today at the podium, we thank you very much. And sometimes we think we got it all together, and we wind up seeing that we don't. We don't have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. But Mr. Warren, I'm happy to see you. This gentleman, I know who he is, from Annapolis Park, Westland. That's where I grew up. And some of those people that's on the committees, I'm well versed at who they are. And I think it's a bigger, as we were talking, I was listening to some of the things that we could do, you know, for communication. I think there's a bigger gray area, and I'm talking to the board members, that we probably need to have a conversation how we can best bring that in terms of keeping them informed. It may consist of maybe, you know, I don't know if they have a main email address where we can just, you know, send updates or just connect with somebody. I know in the past I have sat down with some of those individuals, and so we could probably look into some of those avenues and see what can we do to make them feel a part of, or so that they're receiving information on a more regular basis. Again, I will also, along with the superintendent, more than welcome to come before you all, and thanks for reminding me. It's been a while since I've been over there. And your meeting's still on Tuesdays? What days do you meet, the association meet on what days, on what month? During the month, what week? What day of the week do you guys meet? Last Thursday of every month? Okay, yeah. That's where you met him, yeah, yeah, so we've been there.
32150 Dorsey Road. And when you came, you supported that bond issue.
So, yeah, so I'm thinking even on a, you know, moving forward, just not with the bond, but just what's going on in our district.
Is what he's saying,
You know,
yeah.
So we're gonna see what we could do to kind of bridge that gray area, you know, I think. And so so I just wanted to thank you for bringing that to us, and thank everyone, to the new employees that we had to list here. We're looking forward to the school year and happy to see that, you know, we're making those strides, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee Kennard. Madam Secretary?
Just want to thank everyone for coming out, all those that spoke today with their concerns. Just bringing it to the forefront so that we know moving forward how to make sure that we get the information out. That it's not just via email or social media. We do have to remember our older citizens as well. Congratulations to Ms. Marshall. Thank you. You know, and welcome to all our other new staff that are coming aboard. Just getting ready for the new year and all that the new year holds for us all. So enjoy the last couple weeks of summer.
Summer over, man.
I'm trying to.
Trustee Davis? Okay, thank you. Vice President McCarthy?
Yes, is this being recorded? Yes.
You asking for the people in the
Perfect.
front back?
Well, I wrote some things down. So first and foremost, what I'm about to say does not reflect the views of RCS or the Romulus Community School Board of Education. They do reflect the views of Paris McCarthy and my experience over the last several weeks. I am extremely disheartened, a little bit discouraged to see people in our community speak so negatively about our schools, the board, our students. I logged on Facebook the day after the bond, and people were rejoicing that the bond failed. And I think that is unacceptable that you live in a community, Romulus, which is supposed to be us and one Romulus, and we're rejoicing over a failed bond. What does that say? Do we not value our schools, our students, the community? Politics takes the joy out of education and the community. A political institution, besides a system, is a cancer to the community. So how can we say one Romulus if it's us versus them, or the board versus everybody, or let's just get rid of the board? How can we say one Romulus? That's not one Romulus. We remain divided, and it shouldn't be that way. We should work and serve as a collective, all of us. We can't continue to live in the imagination of what we think Romulus is. We have to live in the present and do the needful for the future. The only thing that I can agree with is that more members of the community do need to be present at these school board meetings. More members of the community do need to be involved. He sent out 9,000 mailers and we're still saying that we didn't get anything. We've been talking about the bond for 1 year at the school board meetings, at council meetings. It's been all over Facebook. It's been everywhere. Where are we as a community that we don't know what's going on? Come to the meetings, get out of bed, stop scrolling your phone. It was people making fake Facebook pages with no pictures or one picture just to bash the bond, and I think that's unacceptable. Now, I really wish you would use your leadership ability for good to make a positive impact on your community, because it shows that you can make an impact. You got a lot of people in the community riled up. Well, let's get them riled up for the right reasons, and that's these students in this district. So this is a call to action. We all can do more as a community, as a school board. We can do more than just make decisions, vote yes or no. We can do more than just share a status or get on Facebook and bash somebody. Leadership is not about titles or where you sit on the board. It's not about your credentials or what you think carries weight. None of that matters. What matters is the impact, the influence, and putting your feet to the ground to do the good work. Open the door a little wider for the people that have to come behind us. Put your money where your mouth is. Run for school board at the next election. Get more involved. Go volunteer at a school. Come see what we really do. Thank you.
Clock it.
Thank you.
I know you didn't do it for the claps, but
I did
clock
not.
it.
I dreaded it. I dreaded coming to this meeting because it hurt me to see that. That's not a laughing matter. That's not a happy matter. Driving in parking lots, y'all. Driving in parking lots when you bust a tire and you gotta replace 2 tires. I'm telling you, I had to replace 2 tires on one car at a time. It's ceiling tiles missing. You can't drive by the school and say, "Oh, the schools look good to me." Everybody's teeth look good until the dentist get in there and put the x-ray on, then we see everything, okay? We talk about what Van Buren is doing, what Belleville is doing, what Wayne Westland is doing. They passed their bond. Everybody wants the new and shiny thing. I want nice things for our kids in our district. That's what I want. You should too. Not rejoicing on Facebook that the bond didn't pass. Ought to be shamed. And I say that in the spirit of Paris McCarthy, not the board. Bless. That's it.
Dr. Edmondson?
Well, thank you. Just to the board, I want to make sure I give you these forms. They are the elections in the precincts. I said it's pretty clear. I'm not going to tell you how to interpret it, but I interpret it a certain way. It's clear as day. I just want you to have it. Numbers don't lie. Precincts don't lie. You want to know who voted and how? You'll see. It's very clear to me. I'm not going to have that discussion here. I'll let you all look and determine yourself. For everybody else, this is public knowledge. You can find it anywhere on how statement of votes cast says it. It's very clear. We have some work, okay? And I'm going to start and say our country has a whole lot of work because it looks very similar to how things do. in general. So I was just looked at my phone for a second, and we also have another student that came from the teacher cadet, Mariah Love, who is, I believe, maybe she's at RECC, and I think maybe a paraprofessional. I'm pretty sure. But that's a good thing. We need to celebrate her. She's taking a job with RECC, Mariah Love, I believe, class of 2024, I believe. So good things are happening. I mean, I'm glad to see that. Few other things. Again, I was asked, well, you better have a plan B. Well, I always have a plan B. Believe that. There is a plan B. One of the things that I saw was that we need to have a community forum, just like with Mr. Warren. I only know what comes to me. I won't know. I don't know. I don't know that there is 5 years ago. I can't remember that stuff. But if anybody comes and tells me, I'm gladly there. I will absolutely be there because I like that. I love to put our district on my back and say, this is what we're doing. And you're going to get the right answers. You're going to get the truthful answers. That's all you can ask for me. So the vitriol, now I don't use that word that much, the vitriol I didn't see people rejoicing because I refused to look. I don't need to be a part of that. But just the comments were just mean-spirited, like I hope. And I take it some way, and I don't want to have that conversation here, but I know what it looks like because I've been there before. I know what certain things look like when they're said to me or about anything that looks like me. It's vitriol. I'm not going to sit here and have that talk about all that, but we don't have to be that way. Our community can be better than that. If you have a question about leadership or anything, come see us. That's what it is. I would gladly come to anybody's house. That's the kind of guy I am. I'm going to come to your house. You want me to come to your house? We'll talk about anything you want to. I'll be glad to do that. We're talking about we need to have a community forum. That's what we were talking about when I had the open house. We started talking about some other stuff. I'm like, oh, this is great. We need to do this as a community for some healing. Not just about the bond. It goes way beyond the bond, what I saw. We need some community healing. We need some, we're divided. We're divided as a country. Not my job to try to figure that one out because that's hard. But in our own community, we could do some healing, and we need to figure out how to do that. We have said it here. I've talked to some board members. Let's start with a community forum. Invite people in. You just don't need to talk about the school district. Let's talk about the community in general. Like you said, what's the one Romulus, and then we have us. One Romulus, us. I work with the mayor. We work together. We do a whole lot of good things. So if you don't like the mayor, you probably don't like me either. It's just how it is. I'm not here to be liked. I want you to respect the work that we're doing in the community, that our board. One of the things that I know Ms. Ebbets is there, and you're all here. Sometimes we cringe when people come up for public comment because they think they can say anything they want to you. I'm not that guy. You're not going to do that to me and just say whatever you want to me. That's not how it works because I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to anybody. I don't operate like that. And I don't appreciate it when it happens to whomever. It just feels some kind of way when you feel somebody is attacked. I don't care who it is. I might not even care for that person or whatever, but I know what it feels like when somebody does that to you. This isn't the place to do that. You have questions about the board, ask them. They all have emails. Okay? You can ask them. You could probably text them. They probably have their numbers. For me, you come see me. Okay? If you don't want to see me, send me an email. I'll respond to it. Send Eve, my administrative. We don't have to get to this where like, I got you. It feels like a gotcha sometimes when we're sitting here waiting for somebody to just get you. For what? I was telling my own son, why do people have to tear each other down? Is that the best way to get results, is to tear somebody down? And I will share this. My son is a wonderful human being. And he said something to me last week that I needed to hear as his dad. And then I looked and I was like, me and his mom did the right thing. We did something good by this guy to say what he said. And my kids value education. They see me coming to work every day in what I do. They value education. Everybody doesn't value education. And that has nothing to do with a yes or no vote. Everybody doesn't value education. Everybody doesn't see how education can absolutely change your life and your lifestyle. I was fortunate. I say it all the time. I was fortunate to have two parents that are college educated. You want to talk about why I am the way I am? That's why. Because I had a father in my house who was an oral surgeon. So I'm going to carry myself a certain way, and because that's all I know. I'm not asking anybody to vote however you want to vote. That's fine. But no matter where you are, invest in your school. Invest in the community in which you reside. It is critical, okay? It is tied into your property value. I don't care if you don't pay taxes. Guess what? Your landlord gonna throw that on you if not. He or she gonna throw it on you. So we just need to respect that, please. Respect that, you can't just get up here and say whatever you want to. Take a look for the board at voter trends, okay? We do have sinking money, sinking fund. It's $3.9 million. Thankfully, businesses here have helped us. Each year it goes up, which is great. It sunsets in 2028. We have to come back. But that's not enough money to do a parking. The parking lots are $11 million. I got $3.9 million that's pretty much earmarked for something else, generally speaking. Then this happens. I am forced, and I feel like this community deserves to have Mount Pleasant come down. It deserves. Has anybody been by Mount Pleasant to see what it looks like? And if I live in that community, I'm going to vote no. I'm going to vote no every single time. As long as I got to drive by that school every day and see that and feel like you have done nothing, I have issues with that. And I have issues with that as the superintendent. I feel like it needs to come down. And if somebody wants to buy the property and put new homes up or house something good, I'm all for that. But I have to now use sinking fund money. Or if we wanted parking lots, I have to use sinking fund money. It's not enough to be able to do it. Okay, but that is something that we are going to address. We just got another offer for Merriman. It's got to go. It's got to go. It's just, we got to get that off the books. Merriman has to come off the books and Mount Pleasant. So that's the goal, is to sell it again. I've said this how many times? We got it sold. We're good. Boom, day of. Mount Pleasant needs to come down. We'll still talk to the board. I talked to the mayor. Mayor and I are talking. He's like, maybe it doesn't have to come down. Maybe we can get a business to do something with it. I don't know. But we are having those conversations. And I do understand, based on some of the comments, people are still mad about being privatized. I don't know how long ago that was, but it's still present. They say it. I'm not going to vote for anything the school district does because they privatized my job. I don't know. I got a text and somebody said to me, and I appreciated it, sins of the past are your sins now. Sins of the past are your sins. You got to deal with it. So I leave here very excited about the golf outing. I'm excited about the school board. I'm excited about the direction. We know we have work to do. We have work to do in this community. We can get it done, and we can have fun doing it. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to smile no matter what. I'm going to have fun doing it because I think we can do it. And there's things that we can do. We've got to get our community. Obviously, if it's 200 votes, it's close. And think about all the people that didn't come out one way or the other, but we still have a whole lot of people who didn't vote for one reason or the other. So let's get them out there to vote. How they choose to vote is their choice, but let's get them to at least think about saying, let's go forward. So thank you, everybody. Be safe in what you do. I love working here. I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow, God willing.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
It is 7:39. All in favor?
Aye.
Good night.
You want to buy some raffle tickets? They're here.